120 laps here on the Speedway today, and it's going to start now. Ford Mustang pace car hits pit road, and Scott Eckrich is going to hit the loud pedal here. Green flag underway here at the Brickyard 300. Eckrich with a great run across the yard of bricks for the first time. He's going to get a great big jump over Jake Wright. First battle going to be on screen between Jeff Ward and Will Warsler.
But, man, Oh, no!
Put it out! Put it out! We've got a caution.
And you've been waiting to say that.
I have. That is the number 9, I think, stuck up in turn 1.
Throw the strategy out the window,
What?
folks.
Oh, that's...
Oh, no.
Oh! Cadell!
Right now, we might be having battle for the lead brewing up. He is looking towards the inside.
There it is. Eckrich down low on Ward down the backstretch. I don't know how much Ward is going to be able to fight him here. He's going to give it a schoolyard effort, though. Drives it into the corner, and he's going to try to hold the position, but Eckrich just is too strong. Eckrich back to P1.
Looks like Tommy Ryan, he's getting close to that back bumper of Jeff Ward. He might think about taking second position away from Jeff Ward. Oh no, we got a wreck. Brian Mellendorf.
Put it out. Mellendorf. Krahula. Put it out. Turn 2. Back to the replay. What happened there? I just saw Mellendorf sideways, and I didn't know if Krahula got a part of it or if he was just dodging the wreck.
Look, Krahula got
Barty. Looks like to me Barty got into the back of Krahula, who got into the back of Mellendorf. Field is under the control of Parker. Field starting to back up a little bit. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Polarski gets into the fence. Contact. He's going to drop back. That's going to probably bring out a caution if he can get there. Eckrich is going to be up to position number 3. The caution's back out. They're wrecking behind him. Put it out on the front stretch. Marshall, Polarski. Hey.
Oh, man, a big mess on the front stretch. Nowhere to go. Guys have to stop.
Oh, and Ryan got a part of it as well. Oh, man.
Yeah, it looked like when the caution happened there, Brian, looked like Michael Krobach got spun out from Tommy Ryan.
Let's see if Eckrich is going to be able to get down below him going into 1. Who's going to be there? They contact! They hold it together. Here comes Harden. Harden slits into second base. Parker, unfortunately, sliding back to third. Does Harden have anything for Eckrich now?
Harden's on the same tires, if I'm not mistaken, as Eckrich.
2 tires for the both. No, yeah, 4 tires for both. Through turn 2 now. Eckrich trying to maintain the gap. Here comes Harden. Gets a good run through the middle of the corner. Can he use the draft down the backstretch and get close?
Oh, they're
wrecking out of 2. It's Westerfield. The white flag is out, though. We're going to finish this one.
This is it, folks. Down in turn number 3.
Harden's got one more chance at it. Working through 3 and 4. Turns 3. Through off of the short chute. He's going to sail it in there. I think they made contact, but it's not enough. Harden loses the advantage off of corners. Here comes Scott Eckrich, your Fast 5 winner, 5-time winner on the season. Scott Eckrich brings home the checkered flag at the Brickyard.
The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. He missed the complete. He's crazy.
As I said, Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Nestled at the base of the Pocono Mountains and at the corner of Long Pond Drive and Andretti Road lies the Pocono Raceway, a unique track that has been a fixture on NASCAR's schedule since 1974. The Speedway boasts 3 unique corners versus 4, and all 3 corners are different than each other, modeled after other historic speedways. Turn 1 is based off of the old Trenton Speedway in New Jersey, Turn 2 based off of Indianapolis, and Turn 3 is based off of Milwaukee Speedway. Each corner giving drivers a different set of challenges and fits. Often drivers will pick 2 corners to be fast on and leave the third as just get through it corner. It has been called a roval track because it drives so much like a road course and the strategy can be played out similar to a road course, but it is definitely an oval. Steeped in tradition and history, Pocono plays host to the next round in the AdvoCare Cup Series Championship Chase. Thrills and spills await us today at the Tricky Triangle, and we will have it all for you live on our flag-to-flag coverage of the CJ Automotive 200. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek. Joining me in the booth, as always, is Tanner Sharp. Spinning the dials, moving the sliders, and going to sound twice as good as we really look is Amjad Yaman, who is using cameras provided to us by Dougie Beard. Tanner, Pocono stands alone by itself as probably the most unique oval on the circuit. With that being said, what makes Pocono such a challenge for our drivers?
I'll tell you what, you just topped it off right there. The 3 unique corners, the turn 1 of Trenton, the turn 2 of Indy, and the turn 3 of the Milwaukee Mile. Turn 1 is banked 14 degrees, turn 2 is banked 8 degrees, and turn 3 is banked 6 degrees. But I'm telling you, the air temperature is 80 degrees with 116 track temperature. These cars are going to be bad loose today, man. The higher the temperature, the more looser these cars are, and these guys will be fighting these cars today in the corners of the racetrack, especially with 3 different corners. And also, whenever we have a restart or start of a race, the front stretch gives drivers opportunity to take it 3 and 4 wide and maybe 5 wide down that front stretch. So just to get a little an idea how to get around the Tricky Triangle, let's take it to our lap guide here on GSRC.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek. This is the Pocono Raceway, and this is the GSRC Chevrolet SS. Pocono is known as the Tricky Triangle, and it sure is a tricky track to try to master. So, with that being said, here we come off of Turn 3, no Turn 4 here at Pocono. Down the long front stretch, about wide enough for 7 or 8 cars. I don't know if you'll see that in the race today, but it very well could happen. Down into Turn 1, ease it in there just a little bit. You're going to want to find that seam right there on the track and kind of try to hook it between the tires straight off of the throttle. You actually also might see guys shift off of the corner as well to try to get just a little extra oomph off of the corner. Turn 2, setting it up for your entry. Back down. It's a fast sweeping left-hander. Can't get back into the gas too quick or the car will get loose just like it did right there for me. Now down into Turn 3. The turn that feels like it never ends. This is where you're probably going to see a lot of guys downshift to get down here to this rumble strip patch right there, straight off of the corner, a little bit of wheel spin, right out to the wall, grab 4th gear, and down the front stretch. Now, Pocono is modeled after 3 tracks that make up its 3 corners. So turn 1 right here is based off the old Trenton Raceway in Trenton, New Jersey. You also might see guys run right through here as the tires kind of wear out, try to get a straighter shot off of Turn 1 down the Long Pond straightaway. Turn 2 has a lot of similarities to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in all of its corners. It's a very fast left-hander, not a whole lot of banking, and it can really throw you for a loop because you have to watch the tire spin off of that. Also known as the tunnel turn because the tunnel to the inside of the track runs right underneath that. Turn 3 based off of Milwaukee, so it's a long, sweeping left-hander. Feels like it's never going to quite get over with. You also might see guys run up in that gray strip of pavement right there. But down the front stretch once more. Try to hold off everybody trying to race you 4, 5, 6, and 7 wide. And that will complete your lap guide around the Pocono Raceway. I'm Brian Yazek. This was the GSRC Chevrolet SS.
And that is the way around the tricky triangle here at Pocono. But before we get on all the topics here at Pocono, let's take a look at our chase standings after Indianapolis. Scott Eckrich winning Indianapolis. They'll put a number 5 on the 5 wins column right there with 679 points. Jake Wright sitting in second with 661 with 4 wins. James Krahula with 2 wins in third. Drew Carroll, Mr. Excitement himself, is sitting fourth with 2 wins. Jonathan Goodell with a win in fifth. Tommy Ryan in sixth with a win. Ricky Harden with a win in seventh. Ryan Howard in eighth with a win. And Dan Murray sitting in ninth with a win. And Matt Lacrosse still sitting in that 10th position without a win this season. He could probably race it in on points. Let's see if he can get it done today to try to get that win off the monkey off his back to get that win. Brian, how's it looking outside the top 10?
5 wins. 5 wins in the chase. I don't know. So you said 5 so many times, I just got stuck in my own head. Okay. On a serious note, in 11th place, we've got Rich Jetty. 12th, we've got Nick Cohan. We'll be speaking to him after he concludes his qualifying lap. Get to talk to him before the race. Don Runkle Jr. solidly in the chase across all 3 series that Premier Racing League runs. It's a pretty good accomplishment there in 13th. Airman Rick Thompson in 14th. Rhett McBride 15th. And Calvin Filarski 16th. Now, this is where I feel the hotbed of activity is going to start coming in, because we've got 6 races left until the chase cutoff, and now you've got Jeff Ward, who's been stringing together a lot of good finishes, starting to close in on Calvin there in 16th. Woodrow Mahan in 18th in points. Josh King 19th. Paul Pepper 20th. Unfortunately, he will not be attending the race tonight, but what could really throw that all topsy-turvy is if any of those guys, 17th on back, grabs a win, steals a win somewhere, that's going to lock them up into the chase and really knock some guys and knock that really comfortable feeling out of Filarski's hand.
Yeah, definitely. You touched up on it there. I mean, it'll definitely take all the pressure off their back, knowing that, hey, I'm in the chase now. Now it's trying to focus on being competitive and try to go for more wins.
That is. So we're going to run 80 laps here around the Pocono Raceway. Fuel window is going to be anywhere between 19 and probably 22 laps, although you're going to hear these guys screaming for tires probably after about 5 laps on track. It's a hot and slick one out there, and these Gen 6 cars just love to eat those tires for breakfast, lunch, dinner, 4th meal, brunch, all those different meals of the day.
Yeah, even a snack here and there, too.
The other thing to play into consideration, too, is Pocono has not received the update from the real-life variation. A couple years ago, Pocono was repaved and really smoothed out, but we still have the old bumpy surface here on iRacing. So what that means for these drivers, as those tires get worn out, we are going to, it's going to be a little bit trickier for these guys to hang on to those devices. Onto those steering wheels and really try to guide that car through, especially with the hot track temp that we have today.
Yeah, definitely. And with Pocono, I'm telling you, you pretty much just touched on every single bit of it there. Bumpy racetrack, an old racing surface on the iRacing sim here, and hot track temperature. These guys are going to be slipping and sliding all race long. It's going to be a struggle for these guys to really get back into the throttle until they're really on one of these long straightaways. I mean, the front stretch is the longest straightaway. You can even land an airplane on this front straightaway. That's how long this front straightaway is.
It has been done before, actually. So,
I think from Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, that was a thing. But we talked about it here in the pre-race interview. We got Nick Cohan lined up. We caught up to him on pit road. Nick, do you have a copy, buddy?
I got you.
Hey, all right. Now, you may be the only driver out there in the field that has been excited to come to Pocono. Why is that?
Well, first off, it's a home track. I just love the unique style of it. It's a different type of track, and if you like a track that everybody else hates, you sometimes have an advantage. So I just think it's fun, the different corners. It's kind of like a road course mixed with Indianapolis, mixed with a super speedway. It's a lot of fun. The restarts are my favorite.
You and I have talked about that a little bit. What makes restarts so fun / hairy / oh my god, what in the heck just happened around here?
I think it's just you have such a wide range of room to go, and you have such a long straightaway. Once you get going, you can make for some good moves as long as you can get through the gears good, time to start right, and obviously obey the flagger. And it creates for some great restarts, for us as drivers, but even better for you guys watching up there. It looks awesome when we fan out there, after the line.
It gives us a lot of pretty visuals, but beyond that, you've got maybe a little bit added pressure tonight because the presenting race sponsor is also on the hood and quarter panels of your car. So tell me how that came about.
Yeah, well, CJ Automotive is my dad's business. I've been in business since 1972. Used cars and truck sales in Penargil, Pennsylvania, and which is only about 25 minutes from Pocono. And I know it's hard to advertise the used cars on a game like this where everybody's all over the country, but my dad loves watching this, and it's cool to have his name on the car and at a home track like this. So I made sure I got this one for the sponsorship. So hopefully we can put it in victory lane, keep the streak going this week.
Sounds good. Now, you are kind of riding a bit of a hot streak because as we saw last night on the Global Sim Racing Channel, you pulled that machine into victory lane last night in Pocono in the Grand National Series. Think we can go for the double up today?
I really hope so. This is the one I really, really want to win. I want to be able to lock myself in the chase and not have to worry. And the setup is not to my liking tonight. It's a little tight loose. It's real tight entering and in the center, and then you get on the gas, it just wants to spin the tires. It's a real pain, but we'll see what we can do. It's going to be hairy out there. I think there's going to be a couple of cautions that are going to take out a lot of guys, so just got to be aware of surroundings to just take care of the car, because it's going to be a long race, as always here on Tuesday. So just gotta be there at the end, and hopefully we can make something happen.
Sounds good, Nick. We'll let you catch up with the team, get back involved in the drivers' meeting, and hopefully we'll be speaking to you in victory lane here at the end of 80 laps. How's that sound?
It sounds like a plan.
All right, bud. We will talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by and talking to us.
Yep, thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. That was the voice of Nick Cohan. So as you heard, Tanner, that's a little bit of pressure for Dad's company, sponsors on the car, sponsor of the race. I mean, he's gotta get after it.
Does have to get after it, and right now, but he's got to feel confident. He's right now currently qualified in the 6th position, which we'll go through here in a little bit. So that's got to give him confidence. He was 8th fastest in the practice session. As he said, the setup's not to his liking, but if he can get a solid top 10 finish here tonight, I'm sure he'll be more than happy.
Yeah, and speaking of which, now that qualifying is wrapped up, drivers' meeting's going on, we're going to cut to our Savage Spinners Pole Award. Savage Spinners, unique river stream lures created in the Pacific Northwest, handmade quality from the United States to entice fish at an affordable cost. And that is going to go to Scott Eckridge. There we go. He was running, he had the sheet, the white sheet on his car, like the old spooky ghosts. So that's how he got there. But Scott, no stranger to the Savage Spinners Pole Award, so I believe, I don't know exactly his number, but it's up there. But you see here, turn 2, very, very tricky, especially if you clip that rumble strip down there at the bottom of turn 2, the tunnel turn, as it's also referred to as.
Yeah, you clip that rumble strip at any time in turn 2, it can just snap the car right around. It totally upsets the car, so you want to try to avoid the rumble strips here at Pocono as much as you can.
Absolutely. So, drivers meeting going on, getting that all straightened away. There's Scott's finishing up his pole run. And we know Scott, I mean, they were at a hot track at Indy last week. He was able to keep the right rear on it, and he said that's what was his prevailing key to getting into the hollowed victory lane of Indianapolis. And I have a feeling that a lot of the same principles and functionality will work right there as well here at Pocono.
Well, I tell you what, he ran the fastest time of this session ever actually. I mean, in practice, he was the fastest car in practice with a 54.79.1. Here in qualifying, he ran a 54.614. So that's actually a second, or 10th, I should say, quicker than when he ran in practice. So Scott Eckert is really liking these hot conditions here, and he's looking forward and staying up front and leading all the laps.
That's going to be the goal, a complete clean sweep of the race session. Fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, and hopefully fastest at the end of 80 laps here around the Pocono Raceway. So, guys, here we go. Going to get wrapped up here. Going to give you a full field qualifying result. We kind of spoiled the pole winner for you, but we kind of do that every single week, so that's not anything out of the equation. But Scott Eckrich on pole with Craig Stykes to his outside, newcomer to the series. Jake Wright in third. Fourth to Tommy Ryan. Fifth to Chris Westerfield. Our pre-race interview, Nick Cohan in sixth with Mr. Excitement. Drew Carroll in seventh. Will Worsler in eighth. Jeff Ward ninth. And Robert T-Rex Barney in 10th.
And outside the top 10, you have Dylan Eckhart in the 11th position. Bryce Whitson will start 12th tonight. Jesse Fowler will start 13th. Michael Krobach in the 14th position tonight. Troy Haight will start 15th. Randy Yoakum in 16th. Travis McQuestion in 17th. James Krahula, it will qualify 18th tonight. Chad Coleman in 19th. And rounding out the top 20 is Don Runkle Jr.
21st is going to go to Jeffrey Gilliam. 22nd, Calvin Filarski, also the last driver to record time. Everybody else being lined up by official iRating. Ricky Harden, 23rd. Michigan's own Matt Lacrosse, 24th. Jonathan Cadell, 25th. Josh Parker, 26th. The Talladega winner, going to start from the back. Big Joe Hassert there in 27th with Brad Collins, 28th. Mark Allen, 29th. And Jason Swan in 30th.
Outside the top 30, you got Rick Thompson in the 31st position tonight. Rich Jetty all the way in the back of the pack will start 32nd. Benny Ellison will start 33rd. Jeff Ryan will start 34th. Woodrow Mahan in 35th. Gerald Livingston will start 36th. And 37th is Norm Pelletier. And rounding out the top 38 field is Mark Norbert.
Old Stormin' Norman back there. He can get there.
Yeah, I mean, probably the best way to get there is probably play some good old pit strategy. I mean, that's probably the best way to try to get up and towards the top 10 in these races like Pocono, because track position is so key at this racetrack, especially on an old surface of this Pocono version and with hot and slippery conditions. So look for pit stops to be a key in track position today.
It could be the strategy. I mean, I really think that this could come in interesting today, because if you pit with 15 laps, I mean, I think the tire fall off is probably going to be in the ballpark of 2 seconds as the pace car sets off and the field starts rolling down this incredibly long Pocono front stretch. But going back to what I said, you could pit at 15 laps every single time and make some good distance on the guys in front of you. But with that being said, if you can stretch the field to 20, you can do this on a 3-stop race. So that's where I think the Pocono over the course of time has kind of picked up that Roval sort of name, because you might see guys that once they hit a window, they might pit, because Pocono is long enough that if you hit pit road and just top off the fuel, you're not going to lose your lap to the leaders.
No, you're not going to lose a lap to the leaders here at this 2.5-mile racetrack here at Pocono. But another thing we do got to keep an eye on here, Brian, is restarts, especially at the start of this thing right here. They're taking one pace lap around Pocono here. They're coming to take the green flag this time by. Watch for guys to try to make it 3, maybe 4 wide at the start here. It's long enough to do that, and it gives drivers opportunity. It's wide enough to give drivers opportunity to do that.
And Pocono, yeah, you're right. And plus the other thing that makes restarts here at Pocono a little tricky is there at most other tracks, there's a very long window between when the pace car dives off and when the field traditionally would hit what you would call the quote-unquote restart zone. At Pocono, pretty much once you see that pace car go off, you maybe have a second to gas it, or else the guys around you and behind you are going to be all over your rear bumper. So we will have to pay attention to that as the race progresses on throughout the evening here in the lovely Pocono Mountains underneath the sun. 116 track temperature, 80 degrees ambient. That's what's keeping these drivers going here. Definitely going to have to keep the water and driver happy. So without further ado, Ford Mustang pace car looking to get off and away. There he goes. Field is in control. Green flag already out. Scott Eckrich onto the loud pedal really quick, and the CJ Automotive 200 is underway at Pocono. He gets a great start with Stykes getting a pretty good start behind him. Going to be able to slot into second. Jake Wright going to follow in through third. First battle going through turns 1 and 2 is almost going to be a 3-wide. We've already got a caution. Put it out! Put it out!
Wow, a lot of cars involved in this wreck, way in the back of the pack here.
Coleman, Cadell, Ricky Harden is a part of that. Livingston.
Jeffrey Gilliam.
Rick Thompson's a part of that. Oh my.
we talked about it. I mean, at the top of the show here, Brian, about these starts and the restarts of the race. It can get really hectic down in turn number 1.
What happened, though? I'm just trying to see.
Looked like the inside road here. Let's see.
Oh, this looks like the 61 just kind of ran over the 45, and that's what got everything rolling.
Yeah, it looked like Travis McQueen kind of checked up a little earlier than usual. Well, that's because the car ahead of him.
Yeah, I think that was just a stack up, and Gillian
that was a stack up.
Here on board, he kind of had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was a stack up. Troy Haight actually checked up entering turn number 1 there, and it was just a result of a stack up and guys just running in the back of each other.
Well, luckily, Pocono is big enough. A lot of these guys are going to be able to get most of that damage fixed, but with a very aero-sensitive track, their days might be a little bit hurt. Yoakum looks a little beat up on the front, so does Coleman there. Haven't seen anybody just flat disconnect from the event.
Wow.
Livingston, Pelletier's on pit road. Coleman, Yoakum. Apparently the smart play was guys starting on pit road.
I was wondering if we can get from our director of that incident again, Brad Collins' onboard view of that incident. He threaded the needle to avoid this incident as they were spinning.
I'm watching, unfortunately for Ricky Harden, I'm watching him dog track around the corner. So his night might be a very long one, the driver, that number 15 machine. And here we go. We're going to pull that onboard up here from Brad Collins. This is going to get an interesting onboard. You called this one out, Tanner, so what did you see?
Well, right here, he's in the back at the start of the race right here. He's hanging back just a little bit, you know, pretty much just trying to save his stuff here at the early run since he's in the back of the pack. Green flag is out, headed down this long backstretch, more front stretch here. Pretty much a drag race. Here the incident is going to happen down in turn number 1. And wow, just threaded the needle, did not hit anybody whatsoever. What some great driving by Brad Collins, and what a way to pay attention what's going on in front of you. That's just, and plus he had a pretty decent sized gap to do that, so he wasn't all over somebody's back bumper.
Wow. 4 tires and a change of underwear for the driver of the 67 machine.
I agree.
Field, I believe, just got 2 to go. So, well, not really a whole lot to talk about at the moment. I'm just watching guys getting repaired on pit road.
We'll have to see how all this is going to play out here just a little bit when we come back to take the green flag, which is the 2 to go mark right now. Next time by, they'll take the green flag and see how these restarts can really play a factor. I mean, this long straightaway, I mean, it just gives drivers opportunity to spread out a little bit. And the problem is it narrows up so much entering towards turn number 1. You got very little racetrack to really work. Well, I shouldn't say really little racetrack, but it's more of the handling of the race car. Because if you enter in so low in turn 1, it upsets the race car so much. You're fighting a loose and tight deal at the same time. So maybe these guys might want to try to take it easy just a little bit. But yet again, you try telling the driver that.
Yeah, you put a steering wheel in these guys' hands, and all of a sudden that red mist of war settles in, and
Exactly.
Logic and common sense all go out the window.
So we are coming to take the 1 to go signal this time by. So next time by, these drivers, maybe not. No, not a 2 to go. iRacing did not turn off the pace car lights, so we're going to be taking another lap around this track. So with that all being said, we'll stay with you guys here. Don't go away. We will take a short break here, and then by the time we come back, it'll be the 1 to go signal.
Welcome back to the CJ Automotive 200 at the Pocono Raceway. Field has got the one to go, starting to stack up side by side. Going to get ourselves a restart, shootout style, as they used to say way back in the day, as Bill Weber used to love telling all the viewers at home. Now, fun fact, Bill Weber from the TNT days is a magician in Florida. Didn't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Now, in true Bill Weber style, I'm sure that when he does a trick, he'll say, "The rabbit is out, the trick is over." All right, so that's what a caution at Pocono will do to us here in the booth here, folks. But thankfully, they're going to get back to racing. Field going to be in the control of Scott Eckrich, working his way off of that long, sprawling turn 3 that has 2 grooves in it. And as those grooves work in, we'll mention that in the broadcast. So Ford Mustang pace car are going to be looking to get out of the way and give the field back to Eckrich. You saw just how quick that green came out, and here we're going to go again. Pace car off. Green flag back into the air. Eckrich gets a good restart. He's got Stikes to his outside, and Wright will be looking to make the move up to second, but I think he's just going to fall in line, as most of the top 5 does. Typically that will happen after an early wreck, as they're single file, first through 5th, going through turn 1, except for Nick Cohan. He's going to try to look on the inside of Ryan going through turn 1.
And Jake Wright went pretty high above the racetrack in turn number 1. Could not carry all that momentum off the corner. He still sits in 3rd place. Right behind him is number 31 of Chris Westerfield. And rounding out that top 5 is Tommy Ryan, all single file. There comes Nick Cohan as well. First
battle is actually going to be back between Robert Barney in the number 60 machine and who is that to his outside? Dylan Eckhart in the 39. Dylan gets a good run off of the tunnel turn at Pocono and is going to prevail. That's going to set Barney back in high, but look at, you've got a battle here between the HPP cars of Bryce Whitson and Crow Paco. And there goes Barney with a save! As they say in Canada, stick save and a beauty for Barney.
Man, what a save by Robert Barney. Got really loose off the corner of the racetrack of turn number 3. In other words, tricky number 3, as we like to call it here. There wasn't any contact between the 2 drivers of the Robert Barney and Dylan Eckhart. No contact whatsoever.
And if you remember, I think this is what Nick was alluding to in the pre-race interview, where it just gets that push loose, or you got so much wheel into it trying to get through the middle of the corner that once it finally bites on exit, the rear end just wants to snap around and meet the front of the car. But everybody's still single file. Bryce was able to complete the pass on McQuestion, but now Bryce is going to be making a charge back on Eckhart. And here you see kind of those lines of Pocono worked out perfectly. McQuestion's going to be going up to that high side. There was a repaved part of Pocono before they repaved the whole track. That's that really dark scene. What was that, Director? Okay. Director got me off of my thought process there, but as Josh Parker makes a move on Michael Krobach, but here comes McQuestion going back on the double, or back underneath Bryce Whitson.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, sorry to jump away from that, but meanwhile, Cohan has gotten around Ryan, and Carroll going to follow. So move those up 1 position apiece, and Ryan going to drop back 2 positions. Ooh, boy.
I think Jake Wright hit the wall off turn number 2.
It's very easy to do. Turn 2 it's a fast sweeping left-hander, and that's just what happens.
Tell you what, he did not hit the wall, but he came very close. So
he wanted to scare the wall. That's what it really boiled down to.
Well,
as I was saying, back there in turn 3, before they repaved the entire track, they ripped up basically one big seam up there in turn 3 and repaved it with new asphalt, and that actually had more grip than the bottom. So as the race progresses, guys can move up to that top lane in turn 3 and make a move. And we were already seeing that as we're on board with Drew Carroll here in the number 87 machine, looking at the rear bumper of Nick Cohan. He's going to fall in line here in turn 2. He's going to try to make a move. Turn 2 is not really widely considered as a passing zone.
Yeah, some drivers would consider it as their money corner pretty much. But, I mean, depending upon who you're asking, I mean, what is the passing zone? Turn 1 maybe? Turn 3?
Really what you try to do is you try to set your passes up from turn 2 to the front stretch. If you can get through turn 2 just right, you get a good run on the guy heading up to 3, maintain a good advantage into 3, and pass him down the front stretch. And I think that's what Carroll was trying to do. But Cohan got an equally good run out of turn 3 as Cohan now going to start poking the nose down below the number 31 machine of Westerfield. But he's going to fall back in line in turn 1. Here comes Carroll looking back to the bottom. But Carroll's run got stalled, and now he's going to fall back into the grasps of Tommy Ryan.
Tell you what, Brian, a driver that's been moving up through the field just in the first opening 10 laps of this race with that first caution is Woodrow Mahan. He's already up to the 15th position after starting 35th.
Wow. And he's even got a little bit of front end damage on that machine. I think he got a part of that turn 1 melee.
And it's not slowing him down either. So, I mean,
he's
got a
wheeling
fast
it.
car. That Jack Daniels is going. Ahead of them, you got Michael Probach in that mix here, along with Josh, Parker, and Bryce Whitson.
We got the HPP teammates there with Bryce and Michael, and then Parker trying to get up into the top 30 in points. Now, remember we were talking about in the pre-race that a guy outside of that has a win. They'll really throw the game off. So,
Jonathan Cadell.
Cadell, what happened to him?
Looks like he got a little... Something's wrong with that number 11. He's got some rear damage for sure.
He's beat up kind of on both ends.
Yeah, oh yeah, he actually down in turn number 1, he actually drifted up. He got loose entering the corner of the racetrack.
Troy Haight got a pretty good job there, moment there. As Cadell's still slow coming off of turn 2 as well. Troubles are not done for that number 11 machine.
Yeah, Cadell actually bumped Troy Haight entering turn 1, but it was no affection to Troy Haight, but it affected the 11, got him really loose.
So, anyway, back as I was listening into the in-race chatter, as Ricky Harden had a 4-letter word to describe the cars that they're all running right now, all beaten up, damaged. That 4-letter word started with an S, and I'll let the viewers at home fill that one in.
Boy, I tell you what, Jeff Ward, he's making some noise.
Cadell!
Oh, no!
He goes spinning to the inside. I don't think that's... Oh, that's good. They're bringing a caution. Put it out! Oh, because he slid up back onto the track.
Yep.
Pocono is one of those tricky ones that if you stay low, it won't hurt anything. And now Cadell is disconnected, so... And they just got real loose out of 2. Tried to save it, and then it paint slaps. It goes in there, and it rolls back up the track. Who was that? Was that Norbert and Gilliam?
Yeah, having to take
some evasive action there.
Yeah, he was trying to save the race car, and it just turned right around on him. So, with that being said, I'm telling you right now, I'd say everybody's going to come down pit road for 4 fresh tires and fill that thing up with fuel.
Yeah, that's going to be a for sure thing with really about 10 green flag laps on the tires. Now, I'm not advocating it, but you could see guys maybe throw 2 on it just to see, but it'd make it a little too loose for me, I feel.
Yeah, I agree. I think tires just mean too much here to take 2 tires, especially on that little distance of a green flag run that we did run. I totally agree. I think 4 tires is going to be the way to go. But yet again, we've seen some drivers take 2 tires and try to test it early. So, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think once these guys pit, I think Ricky Harden will receive the lucky dog.
I believe you're right. So yeah, once that cycles out, Ricky is unfortunately 4 laps down. 5 laps down, actually, from 6 that I'm seeing now. Well, I got timing and scoring is all thrown off. Yeah, 6 laps down. There it goes. So now that'll put him back to 5 laps down. So 5 more cautions, and that 15 machine will be back on the lead lap. It's hashtag optimism. That's what you got to think. You got to think positive.
Everybody headed down pit road.
Swan, the only one staying out on track that I'm seeing at the moment.
Like staying out to get a bonus point. Scott Eckridge overdrove his pit stall drastically.
Big time overshoot. And so did Tommy Ryan.
Tommy Ryan.
Oh, wow,
and
the 31 as well. This could be big for guys right there. Oh, the 31 still is in trouble. He's not even remotely in his stall.
He can't get his pit box.
Jeff Ward going to win the race off of pit road. Eckrich is going to fall back to 5th from what I can see.
Yes, sir. 5th place. Scott Eckrich will fall back to, and Jeff Ward got. He actually got 4 tires on that thing as well. Yes, he did.
4 tires for everybody. That's some in Westerfield now. Finally getting that car straightened away. That's going to hurt. Entered the pits 7th. Then here we go on screen. Ricky Harden, our Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. So, with that being said, folks, we're going to, now that we're all caught up here, we're going to jump off and take a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side for the rest of the CJ Automotive 200. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the CJ Automotive 200 at Pocono Raceway. Jeff Ward is your new leader. So as Scott Eckrich had his pit road mishap, that is going to benefit Ward. And now Ward is leading with Jake Wright second, Nick Cohan third, Craig Stykes fourth, Drew Carroll going to be in 5th, and Eckrich back to 6th. The other big losers on that pit exchange, Tommy Ryan back to 26th, and Chris Westerfield back to 24th. So that's not a good first trip to pit road. As we're going to get the restart here, Jeff Ward going to be in the field, or controlling the field from the high line, I think due to an iRacing thing. So we'll just call it that. But here we go. Green flag back into the air. Ward onto the loud pedal. He's going to get away, but the guy's behind him. Here comes Cohen. Going to try to take a 3 wide up the middle. Ooh, look at this shot. Everybody's fanning out. Ward to the inside with Stykes now. Oh no! Scott Eckrich and Carroll make contact. Eckrich going to try to keep it wound up from the outside.
Wow, there's still 3 wide. Josh Parker in the middle.
Stykes got to run though. Stykes and Ward side by side down the Long Pond Straight, but who's going to prevail through turn 2? I think you have to give it to the bottom with Ward, but Stykes is probably going to fight him. He's trying, but that top lane just does not prevail in turn 2. He's going to fall in line. Oh, no! Scott Eckrich off into the grass, mowing it.
Wow, he bunny hopped it. And still mowing it. Don't go. Oh, no.
Keep it straight. Yeah, he's back rolling.
Wow. Man, he just actually got caution.
Put it out. Put it out. Norbert out of turn 3. Here we go. We're going to see what happens to Eckrich.
He got really loose off turn number 2 there, Brian.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, and who was that back behind? Was that Don Runkle? Also decided to mow the grass. Doing a really stiff job of mowing that grass as well. And here we go to see the cause of the caution with Mark Norbert. Oh.
He just got really loose off turn number 3, just behind Scott Eckrich and Cal Kolarski.
It's a bizarre spot for a caution. Typically it doesn't come out when you're that far in there. He's right behind Eckrich. And then he just slides. I'm really surprised that was a caution.
Even the drivers are going over radio communication saying they're surprised the caution came up because of Mark Norbert. Even Mark Norbert said it himself. So apparently that is part of a racetrack according to iRacing, which technically really isn't. But it's just
now I'll be curious to see, are these guys going to pit again? Or are they going to stay out? I mean, tire wear is a thing.
Tire wear is a thing. What do you go with, tires or track position?
I'll bet you if you're Eckrich, you got nothing to lose. You might as well bring it on down pit road, put 4 fresh field goods on it, and start marching back up through the field. Plus, with here, you can do if you save a little bit of fuel here under caution, he could pull a 2-stop strategy from here if he decided to, or if we decided to get green flag all the way to the end.
I'm telling you, Scott Eckrich can't have any more pit road mistakes on pit road because the slightest, even the smallest pit road mistake can cost you a number of spots on the track. So Scott Eckrich now needs a mistake-free on pit road so he can get that track position back. If I was Scott Eckrich, I agree. You're in the back of the pack now. You got dirt on your tires after spinning through the grass and the dirt down there. Why not put some 4 new tires on?
I have a feeling you're going to see the field pull a split decision here. Going to be probably, I would say from probably, let's say 13th on back is where I think you're going to see guys pit from. Let's see if they make me a liar, though.
They might.
Field coming off. Ward stays out. Got Stykes. Stykes going to hit pit road. Going to make a liar out of me. So Stykes, Eckhart, Worsler, Barney, Collins, Eckrich, Filarski, and everybody from basically Eckrich on back going to be hitting pit road. So we're going to watch Ricky Harden come back around the field and get himself another Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award. So I told you, 5 more cautions. He's back in this one, boys. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. So as Ricky Harden dives around the track, we're going to come back on the other side after a quick break and talk to you about a couple other things here and hopefully get the rest of this race run before the virtual rain sets in. So we'll be back on the other side. Welcome back to the CJ Automotive 2 at Pocono, where we now have kind of a mixed bag up in the top grouping as a couple of them have peeled off. Jeff Ward still your leader with Drew Carroll to his outside, Dick Cohan third, Jake Wright fourth, Josh Parker in fifth, and now Michael Krobach up to sixth with Travis Completion seventh, Bryce Whitson Jr. in eighth, Rich Jetty ninth, and running out your top 10, Jesse Fowler. So a lot of those guys up front deciding to pit, some of them deciding to stay out. We're going to find out which was the better move because the field is going to be back into the control of Jeff Ward. Green flag back into the air, and Ward gets away from the restart zone, but he's not going to get away clean. Carroll's going to be there with Cohan, going to be making a run. Look at Cohan all the way up to the inside of Carroll, and he's going to try to make a move for the lead. Here goes Cohan to the bottom.
Rewind for the race lead.
And there's Krobach up there. Look at where did he come from? Parker. Jake Wright up at the very top. Oh, right into the fence just a little bit. That big triumphant move for Cohan didn't quite work for the lead, and now he is trying to get the second place back from Carroll. Turn two, the bottom is going to be the way to go.
Oh, look at Josh Parker!
The tunnel turn, big wreck. Cohan gets spun.
Oh, man.
Things have gone on.
Oh,
boy.
Oh, daggone. What happened there?
There's a whole bunch of them wound up there. Parker got a part of that. So did Krobach. Fowler for that. Let's see what happens here. There's the first contact.
Looked like Josh Parker tried getting in that hole between Michael Krobach and Bryce Whitson. And Bryce Whitson was already there.
I'm trying to see the other part where Krobach and Cohan got together too. Did Eckrich get through that? That's what I'm curious of. Oh. Here we go on board. Or not on board, sorry, we're watching here. I really don't. I'm not sure. Ooh, Eckrich just got missed by Yoakum there.
Tell you what, looked like that whole deal with Nick Cohan, he actually got loose. And
I mean, did he just jump out of the gas?
Nick Cohan?
That's kind of what it looks like, is Cohan jumped out of the gas, and Krobach was not expecting that. And that started the second wreck. Oh, God, I feel bad for Cohan.
Oh, no, he didn't jump out of the gas. He actually did get loose on the bottom side right there. It started stepping out, and he actually had to lift it just a little bit. But looked like Krobach was just too close to that back bumper.
Eckrich got through all of that and came back around in 10th place. Who was that? Is that Worsler there hitting pit road? He's got some damage. Who is that? Was that Worsler back there? 3 cars back? Yeah, the 10. Oh, there goes Harden again. I told you, boys. A couple more cautions. He's back in this, so...
Yeah.
Ricky Harden going to get your Coastal Safety Auditor's Lucky Dog Award. Brutus the Lucky Dog given. He's very, very beneficial tonight, giving out lucky dogs left and right. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Tanner, well, that changed stuff.
It changed a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, look at Scott Eckrich. He was in the deep back of the pack. Now he's up into the 9th position as of right now. We've seen who just got the lucky dog here again? That was Ricky Hartnett got the lucky dog. But guess what? We got multiple cars now 1 lap down. That's guys like Michael Krobot, Josh Parker, Jesse Fowler, Rick Thompson.
There goes Parker. He's disconnected. So that's going to take him out of the equation.
Right.
Cohen had smoke trailing out of that machine coming down pit road, so that's going to be a long fix.
Yeah.
And everybody that's now a lap down is still sitting on pit road. Bryce Whitson got a part of that too. He was back there with the 89 or the 81. That's what started that.
Tell you what, but don't count out Scott Eckrich here, Brian. I mean, he missed Q on pit road and had to slide through the grass just a little bit. Now he's back up there in the 9th position after this incident off turn number 2, or in the tunnel turn of turn number 2.
And here's the thing I'm trying to figure out. I'm listening into the drivers' chat on the race, and everybody's mad at the 87, and I'm really not sure why. You're hearing the same thing I am, Tanner. A couple of guys are getting chippy with the 87, and I really don't know why. I didn't see anything out of line.
I did not see anything out of line, at least on my end either. All I seen, it looked like the number 21 off of turn number 2 got loose, and he actually had to step out of the throttle to try to catch the race car, because that's technically what you're attempting to do, is trying to catch the race car. And Krobach was just too far behind, or too close to the back bumper of Nick Cohan, and just turned him around. So it's not like the 87 turned down on anybody to wreck anybody. So hopefully all that cleared up down the road here.
Jesse Fowler disconnected from the server.
But anywho, we do a little bit of a mix-up here, Brian. We got pretty much Jake Wright, the only driver that started in the top 3, is currently remaining in the top 3.
Well, I think, yeah. I don't know what else to say about that.
But I got to tip my hat off here to Rich Jetty. Look at him. He's top 5 right now. Started 32nd. Good paint scheme for him.
We're here.
So,
we're just we're observing.
Yeah, we are just observing here. Just listen to some radio chatter here of what else is going on the racetrack.
The drivers, really. Sorry, folks.
We're too busy listening to Radioactive of the PRL. But pace car lights off should go off this time by here, and if the caution does come out this again, and depending upon if this driver actually that's not right, because they're going to go 2 laps down currently. So pace car lights are turned off, so we will take 1 more lap, then we will take the green flag. Get back racing here at Pocono Raceway. As you can see, Jeff Ward, Drew Carroll, Jake Wright, and Travis McQuestion. And I'm telling you, Brian, what do you think? These restarts have really played in the factor so much today. It's like you got to try. It's like these drivers are trying to gain everything that they can right away because track position is so important. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a lot of what we're seeing is just guys really trying to get aggressive and trying to make the most out of opportunities. I mean, we've got 21 cars left on the lead lap, and gosh, I'd probably even say 21 cars left on the track. So that's really thinned out our herd of 38 drivers that started. Krobach is actually disconnected, so is Bryce Whitson and Jeffrey Gilliam, so they're not going to be a part of that one.
Tell you what, and these front runners like Jeff Ward, Drew Carroll, Jake Wright, Travis McQuestion, Rich Jetty, and James Krahula, according to my stats right here, it's been 14 laps since they've been on pit road. But with all these caution flags that have been going on here at Pocono today, it really gives these drivers the opportunity to save a lot of fuel. That
it does. I mean, and you know, Ward and Carroll and Wright, they barely got really any green flag turns on those tires. So I think they're going to be sitting all right. Save a little bit of fuel under caution. You can say big time around Pocono. So that should all pretty much even itself back out here. So here we go again, Tanner. We're going to try to restart this one for the 5th time tonight. Pace car is away. Green flag back into the air for Ward and Carroll. They're drag racing side by side down the front stretch. Here they go. Down past the grandstands. They're still side by side. Who's going to prevail down in turn 1? Carroll might get a good run if he's got to get him cleared by turn 2.
That higher line.
Up to 4th. Strong run for him in that 93 so far.
That higher.
Contact between Carroll and Ward. Ward goes spinning to the inside wall. That'll do it for him.
That is not going to bring out a caution either because he is not on the racing surface to bring out that caution. But, oh man, look, Drew Carroll got really snappy loose on the exit of turn number 1. And when that happened, his left rear quarter panel smacked the right rear quarter panel of Jeff Ward.
That's pretty much what just happened.
Oh, that was a vicious hit towards that inside wall, and there's no safer barrier down there whatsoever. Vicious hit for Jeff Ward. If that was real life, folks, I mean, the virtual driver might be injured.
Alrighty, so now that that's all reset, Carroll's back out in front, and he's got Jake Wright lining up behind him to try to make a run at that. Lucian 3rd, James Krahula 4th, Greg Stykes 5th. Scott Eckrich has made his way back up to 7th so far, and he's on the inside of Rich Jetty. Keep an eye on that. Jetty just lets him go, so move Eckrich up another spot.
Dylan Eckhart and Calvin Filarski. Good run by 2 drivers, especially Calvin Filarski.
I was just watching Stykes. That rear of that car stepped out big time, and now he's underneath Krahula going through turn 3.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Cohan topped it off on the show during our pre-race interview there, Brian. The cars get really tight entering the corner, but then it turns snappy loose at the exit of the corner, and that's all 3 corners of the racetrack. So that's what these guys are having to deal with. And folks, you got to remember, this is fixed setup. They can't adjust anything on the race car whatsoever. So these guys are up for a huge challenge today.
The only thing that they can adjust is their driving style, as Eckrich now works his way around James Krahula. That's going to put Eckrich up into the top 5.
Eckrich is picking them off one by one, got past James Krahula. Now the sights are up to Greg Stykes, who's starting outside the pole tonight. And P3 going for Travis McQuestion on the higher side of the racetrack.
He's working on it side by side through turn 3. I think McQuestion's going to get a good run off, get that straighter run and let the momentum build. And there's Eckrich, the opportunist. He's going to try to fall in line behind the draft of the 93 and try to gain that position as well. Stykes would have to really slam the door right now to get up there, but it's still side by side for 4th. Stykes not quite giving up the fight as they work their way through turns 1. And here comes Eckrich looking to try to make it 3 wide. I think he maybe thought better of it.
He thought better, and the way we've seen 3 wide work out today here at Pocono, there's room for it. But the way these cars are dancing around and as loose as they are on exit, probably not the smartest way to go.
No, 3 wide around here can work if you've got a lot of grip, but as the cars are standing right now, might not be the best idea.
Scott Eckrich still trying to work for another position on Greg Stykes in that number 57. Let's see. He's
going to try him low this time. Stykes with the block.
Got really close to that left rear bumper.
Big time wiggle off of 3.
Yeah, both cars got really loose off that corner right there.
Still see Eckrich trying to get back onto the rear bumper.
Back to the
lead. I'm watching Krahula also get wiggly off the corner. But back out front, Wright is running down. Drew Carroll working through turns 2. Who's going to prevail off of this one? Ooh, Wright drifts that corner a little bit.
Man, if you really want to catch the guy ahead of you, you pretty much got no choice but to get really loose off the corner.
Yeah, but here comes Wright. He's running a little higher line than Carroll, and that's giving him a little bit more shot down the front stretch. I mean, lap time-wise, let's take a look here, a 60 to a 64 between the two. So that time, Carroll actually got a little bit of the advantage as we're looking off the rear bumper.
Battle for third still going on back here as the lead is getting pretty close. Might be a battle soon, but battle for third is still going on. Greg Stykes getting past Travis McQueestion off turn number 1.
He's got him cleared this time, and here comes Eckrich, going to try to get underneath the 93 as well. Eckrich is going to have the preferred group, I think, and there goes the 93, just says, you know what, you go right ahead. Go right ahead and take that one. It's still a little too early.
Definitely too early, especially if you're up in that top 5. You got that track position now, and Travis McQueestion might be able to work with that track position if we have green flag pit stops. Oh, and Stykes, a little higher line up in that little repave spot.
He's trying that line out. You can really get a good run, but you give up a lot on entry through middle, but man, you can clear him coming off. So it really just kind of boils down to a balance. I mean, what part of the corner do you want?
Yeah, exactly, and I think you would go with the what best handles for just you, you know. So it's Scott Eckrich getting really close to that back bumper of the number 57 of Greg Stykes.
Well, and we were talking about it too. You know, just a little bit. You can't change anything on the setup, but you can change your driving style. So maybe, you know, maybe Stykes is just trying something a little different.
A little bit further back, Tommy Ryan side by side with Brad Collins. That's for the 10th position. Tommy Ryan gets around him down in turn number 2, the tunnel turn.
Yeah, don't count Ryan out of this thing yet. He's sneaking up back there.
Pretty much everybody is spread out.
Much everybody's kind of spaced out here.
Yeah, I think the closest battle you can probably really watch for is probably for third position, Greg Stykes and Scott Eckrich. Everybody else is all fanned out, running in a single file line along on these long straightaways of Pocono.
And look at the rear bumper here. They're looking out the rear window of Stykes. Whoa, Carroll caught the wall a little bit out of 1. That's going to let Wright get closer. Big wiggle from the 87. I don't know if he actually caught the wall, but he did get really, really close to it. Let's take a look on the GSRC replay. You're going to see what I was just caught me really quick out of the corner of my eye.
And I'm telling you, you probably couldn't fit a piece of paper between the wall and the car right there.
That's for sure. But now the thing that he's got to be careful of, he's probably made that right rear tire angry. And once you make that right rear angry, it doesn't want to play nice anymore. So now Wright is kind of closing in about 2 car lengths back off of the 87 now.
Yeah, it doesn't want to play nice anymore, and it's only going to get looser the more you run on that right rear tire if you've made it angry. So Jake Wright still in distance of that race lead. He's catching little by little here.
Wright has a wiggle through 1.
Oh,
just
boy.
a little bit. Nothing to panic about.
Was able to gain that 3/10 back from him too.
Yeah, but now coming off of the corner, Carroll has gapped him another car length, so now that gap's up to about 4 between the two of them.
Travis McQueestion has fallen back to the 5th position. He's going to be challenged by James Krahula fairly soon, along with Rich Jetty in number 7. And you can probably throw in Dylan Eckhart. You can fold over a blanket over these 4 cars right here. Here we go, battle. 5th position, James Krahula, Travis McQuestion. Turn number 3, and what? No, turn 4. Oh, Krahula really loose off the corner of turn number 3.
It's one way to try to take that corner.
And tell you what, that actually cost him a position too. James Krahula sliding just a little bit as he's being pressured right now by Dylan Eckhart off turn number 1. And there's a significant amount of draft here too, wouldn't you say here, Brian?
Yeah, you can get a little bit of a run-up and a sniff off of the guy in front of you. I mean, it's not going to be to that degree of, you know, Daytona, Talladega, but it might be enough. And a guy that's really starting to close back in, Craig Stykes, last couple laps, he's been about 2 or 3 tenths faster than our leaders.
Yeah, he's actually pulled away from Scott Eckrich, which, you know, as fast as Scott is, I'm kind of shocked just a little bit. But
that's
Stykes,
no small feat.
It's no small feat. I mean, you're pulling away from one of the fastest guys in the field. Who's way down on the bottom of the front stretch back there?
I think that's Yoakum. I think he's just staying out of the way.
From Travis McQuestion, Rich Jetty, James Krahula, and Dylan Ackard.
Oh, right with a big wiggle off of one again. It's caused him a little bit of time to Carroll, and Stykes is just loving it.
Stykes actually laid back to probably save his tires just a little bit.
I think Stykes is probably being really, really easy on corner entry, and I think that's what's saving him. Is now he's drawing a bead on the rear bumper of the 27. And the 27 is going to try to take his line away.
Here we go, battle for second.
Stykes has been using that high, wide, and handsome line through 3 the last couple laps, but now he's switched to the bottom, and that's going to put Wright back in front of him. He's going to draw back close there, a little bit of side draft.
A little side draft and a big drag race down the front stretch. Here we go. Looks like he's going to get him on the bottom of the track here.
I would say so. He's got Wright cleared.
Wright can come back. No, he's not.
Move Stykes up to second. Good run driving that number 57 machine.
Tell you what, in that battle between Jake Wright and Greg Stykes has brought Scott Eckrich into the picture.
It's allowed Carroll to sneak away by a couple car lengths, but not by much.
Oh!
Carroll sideways! Or not Carroll, bless it, Wright
Jake
sideways.
Wright. Oh boy!
Did he get tagged or did he get loose?
He might have gotten He may have gotten tagged actually. Yeah, he got tagged by Scott Eckrich.
Oh boy. Oh, Carroll gonna hit pit road this time by. Yeah, contact there between the 70 and the 27, but Wright, he didn't hit anything. So he gets a caution. He gets back circled into it. I wouldn't count Wright out of that one. Carroll and McQuestion both on pit road.
And biggest thing here, especially under green flag conditions, do not overdrive your pit box. Because the slightest you overdrive it, the more your time you're costing on the racetrack. Or should I say the more time?
I'm sitting here and I'm trying to, and Craig Stykes is not a household name to our viewers at home. He actually missed the show last week in Indianapolis. And look at him, second race, first official one in the AdvoCare Cup Series, and he's leading.
Stellar performance by Greg Stykes here tonight at Pocono. I'm sure this is giving so much of a confidence booster that, hey, I can run with the big boys.
He's still staying out. But here's the problem, though, is that Carroll is going on the long pond straight right now. So as this one cycles back out, that's probably going to put Carroll back out in front of Stykes. Jetty's on pit road. So is Wright.
Yeah, Jake Wright, might as well come on pit road. We are at the halfway point here, Brian.
That's a one stop from here if you can make it. Everybody pitting this time by can make it probably on one more stop, too.
Greg Stykes, as fast as he is tonight, he's going to go a little further as well. So he
can.
Yeah.
Look at him go.
And I just wonder how much gas did these guys really save under the yellow flags that we did recently have. 4 cautions today.
Oh, really? What that boils down? Pocono's big at saving fuel. So, that's... Oh, and here comes Stykes onto pit road, and Eckrich following behind him. Did he get wind down to pit road speed? Ooh! I'm watching Eckrich.
Tell you what, Scott Eckrich is...
Oh, wow, he got it wound down just in time.
Tell you what, yeah, and pit road's been the Achilles heel for Scott Eckrich today at Pocono, that's for sure, but just got it wound down.
Stykes hit his mark, so does Eckrich. There you see Dylan Eckhart on screen. Right now, second on the track. Tommy Ryan has stayed out, but Tommy Ryan is going to be hitting this time by.
All right, Scott Eckrich and Craig Stykes exit pit road. Race leader Tommy Ryan is going to be entering turn number 3.
Carroll got by a while ago. That gap between the two, between the 87 and the 57 is going to shake out here to about 2 seconds.
An 80-lap race. You got one more stop from here, so that might have been a good strategy call on Drew Carroll. He's been up front for much of this race so far, along with Craig Stykes. Craig Stykes has been fast all race long.
Stykes is getting there, though. Because now
Eckridge.
Stykes has the fresher tires by about 2 laps, and Stykes is already faster over the long haul, so that gap might be closing up a lot quicker than it has been previously. Eckhart still on track, showing as your leader. Brad Collins in second, Troy Haight third, Robert Barney fourth, Jason Swan fifth, and then it cycles out to guys that have pitted with Drew Carroll in sixth. Eckhart staying out another lap. Here comes Haight hitting pit road, deciding that those worn out tires finally just need to get off that machine, and there's Barney on pit road behind him.
Barney's on pit road. I'd assume Dylan Eckhart and Brad Collins will be coming in this time by. Right now, those two drivers are down into exiting turn number 1.
I would think they have to be hitting this time, or hitting soon, unless they could somehow stretch another 17 laps out of their fuel tank, which I would want to bring them to the rig for post-race inspection on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with these long straightaways, you really got nowhere to, put in the clutch either. So, Pocono's always been fuel mileage involved. I mean,
here comes Eckhart to pit road. I don't know if there's going to be much of a fuel play here. Those guys pitted on 40 to go. So all you got to do is get 20 out of the tank, and you can make it on one more stop. But I guess the question would be if they can get 20. We know Stykes can probably make it. The guys, and then Eckhart, Collins, Haight, those guys are probably going to easily make it. Between Carroll, though, he pitted right before that window. So he's got to probably push that one an extra lap just to make sure he makes it on fuel. Swan, Jason Swan staying out on track, getting him some laps led. Good for Swanee.
yeah, and actually, I don't think he led this time by. So if he stays out next time by, he'll get a bonus point for leading a lap.
I would say he got that. I mean, he's showing number 1 on timing and scoring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 1 lap led right there.
You got it. My timing and scoring is a little out of whack. I must have clicked something here.
The other thing I'm watching, Stykes is flat out catching Drew Carroll. That gap was 2 seconds off of pit road. Guess what? It's about 5 car lengths now. As there you see Stykes taking that really high line through 3.
And watch him close up right here.
Impressive run for Stykes in his first race. Official race.
Speaking of fast guy, oh!
He was that all the way at the back end there.
Jetty, number 7. He got snappy loose coming off the turn number 3. Oh yeah, he was getting underneath James Krahula. That would have been a battle for 6th place, but Rich Jetty, nice save. He battled for position number 2. Actually, it happened.
Yeah. There we go.
Or not happened.
It's about to happen. Stykes
happen.
all over the rear bumper of Carroll.
Closing up on exit. Oh, we got close to the wall. Carroll might be running by. Maybe.
I think he was just trying to break the draft a little bit, because here comes Stykes. Last lap tells the tale there.
Oh yeah, I mean, Stykes is 55.75 to Carroll's 56.
Here we go, pass
Here we
to the lead. Stykes has got the inside line under Carroll. There's a lap car of Harden, though. Harden's going to take up the top lane. No, he's going to take up the bottom lane. But Stykes has gotten by. Move Stykes back up to P1 as everybody gets a little wiggly off of 2. Okay, so technically P2, yes.
Swan's pitting. So technically now it's going to be a
right
battle
in front
for the
of him,
lead.
though.
Battle for the lead.
There comes Swan on the pit road. So now Stykes is officially back in the lead.
And this has now turned into a battle for the lead.
I don't know how much it's going to be a battle, though.
Very true.
Stykes is starting to already gap him just a little bit. Eckrich about 2.5 seconds back.
I was just gonna say, where's Eckridge? Speaking of fast guys, he's coming off turn number 1. They're in the middle of that long pond backstretch. If there is even a backstretch here.
Yeah, that would be basically it, the long pond straight there.
Jason Swan now exiting pit road.
Wright starting to come back here just a little bit, back up to 9th after his slide around turn 2. He's working over Rich Jetty there. It was a lot closer when I looked in the first time, I promise.
This is the longest green flag run stretch that we've had all night long here, Brian.
It might be, but how Jeff Ryan found the inside grass, but he's parked off of the racing surface. I think, is he gonna, he's rolling. That's not gonna bring out a caution. This turn 2 just bites another victim. Ooh, hard shot into the inside wall, but you can see right there, locked the brakes down. Didn't roll back up on track and didn't bring out a caution.
And that back end of the race car just turned left. Or right to spin out that car. Battle for position number 4 here. Travis McWeeston and Tommy Ryan. Tommy Ryan on the bottom side of the
Ryan
track.
shut the door.
That was close.
And there's the 93 pushing down the front stretch, maybe sending a little message going, hey, I didn't like that a whole lot.
One good thing that those two drivers, I'm glad, are glad that never happened was netcode.
Yeah, that could have been disastrous out of the corner.
Right behind them, you got a battle for position number 6, Rich Jetty and James Krahula. And
yeah, you got them all wound
Jake
up
Wright.
there.
Throw Jake Wright into that mix.
Wright's going to need a caution to get back up there. And there's no other way around it. He's about 10 seconds off the lead. But 3-car battle for the 6th position. Krahula has it, Jetty and Wright want it. Through turns 3, Wright going to go to the very top. Krahula going to find kind of that gray stripe, and here comes Jetty to the bottom.
All right.
Contact again. Goodness gracious. And here comes Jetty looking to the inside. Going to use the 8-car there of Yoakum as a pick. And he's going to clear him. Jetty up the 6th.
And Jetty had a big moment off turn number 3 a few laps ago. Now he's up to the 6th position. Oh, Krahula!
Ooh, boy. Hang on to it. On board with Wright, just an interested observer back here.
Catch Krahula right now. He might be able to go side by side with him. Actually, he's going to choose to stay by that outside wall. Looks like Wright's considered taking that higher line along with Krahula.
Try. Ooh, Wright. Drifting just there a little bit through the corner. The nose is starting to point north, point towards the infield, but it's going to give him a huge run.
We ain't drifting until the end of the year, until we get dirt.
Oh boy, don't give these boys ideas.
Oh man, I'm sure somebody's going to come and say, "Hey guys, let's take the cup cars at Eldora."
Let's not do that.
Jake Wright gets around. James Krahula off turn number 1 down the long pond straightaway.
Dykes had a big wiggle off of 2. Kept it going straight though.
Not being pressured for the lead at all from Drew Carroll. That's about a second and a half, even more.
Yeah, but now I'm watching Eckridge. Eckridge has some. Did Eckridge catch the wall at some point? The right front of that car is beaten up.
Yeah, he might have some front end damage too as well from clipping Jake Wright earlier.
That may have been too.
But I'm seeing it more on the right side, like he hit the wall at some point. Maybe another contact with another car on a restart.
Very well, potentially. Ooh, there's Carroll up there getting a little, trying to get a little cozy with the wall.
Wow, Jake Wright, left, right, constantly off turn number 1. got that car saved on that front stretch.
He's gotten around Krahula, though.
Another driver we haven't really heard or talked about all night long, Brian, Will Worsler. Started 8th, currently 9th. I think he's been in the top 10 throughout most of this race. We haven't really talked about him all too much tonight.
He was just hanging out at the back end of the top 10, and now he's finding himself there in 10th. Solid run last week at Indy, ended up 3rd. Solid top 10 right now at the moment in 9th.
2 good weeks for Will Worsler. Dylan Eckhart, 10th, and Robert Barney back in the 11th position, and that's going to be a battle for 11th pretty soon. Actually, it's going to happen right now. Brad Collins looking towards the inside, thought better of it.
Barney gets a little loose through 1. That's going to let the 67 get a run to the top side. Out of turn 1. Barney closes the door a little bit. Here comes Collins down to the inside. Is he going to have enough in there to make the corner? Yep, he's going to be side by side with Barney through 2. Oh, Barney just drove it through there.
What an exit by Robert Barney.
Wow. Barney's going to try to squeak away again as you got Troy Haight back there, 13th.
James Krahula getting around, I believe, a lap traffic here. Side by side with Calvin Filarski.
Well, let's do an AdvoCare top 10 here. I mean, we kind of already done it, but let's go through it here again. So if you're looking to add some spark to your life, AdvoCare gives you a full line of options from wellness to weight loss to those looking for a little more performance of their active lifestyle. Please contact independent distributor James Krahula at james.krahula@gmail.com or at the link in the description below. Craig Stykes in his technically debut race with the PRL leading quite comfortably 2.5 seconds over Drew Carroll. Drew Carroll has been a lightning rod of controversy tonight, and just kind of seems like he's been in different spots at different times, but he's still holding on into 2nd position. There's Scott Eckrich in 3rd. Ooh, what's going on up there? Hold on. I don't think Cohen was too happy there with the driver of that number 87 machine from the earlier incident. Let's just okay, that's going to settle itself out. Eckrich back into the 3rd position after earlier contact with a couple of people as well. Seems like Pocono has all of a sudden become a short track. In 4th, Tommy Ryan just steadily chipping away at it. Had his bad pit stop early, all the way back up to the 4th position, matching where he started the event. Travis McQuestion rounding out your top 5 in that number 97 machine. Good run for him, was very impressive at Daytona. Brickyard, kind of a race I think he probably wishes he would have forget, as well as the road course at COTA. Rich Jetty in 6th, and I will tell you what, Rich Jetty is going to be your hard charger of the race. He started back in 30th position. Move him up to the 6th position. Jake Wright, after drifting turn 2 a little bit ago, back to 7th. James Krahula in 8th. The Daytona winner here a couple of weeks back. Will Worsler, we just talked about, in 9th. Solid run for him. And Dylan Eckhart running out your top 10.
Think pit stops could be brewing up here, Brian, soon?
Well, 3 laps. I mean, we're 23 laps to go. I think it's a little early to pit for the window. But if you run it down to 20 to go, you know you got enough fuel to make it.
Tell you what, Craig Stykes, man, I mean, if he can, I mean, he's no pressure for the lead. He's about 3.7, 3.9, actually 4 seconds now back from Drew Carroll. He could probably save a little gas here. I mean, he last pit stop 17 laps ago. Drew Carroll 19 laps ago. So
he's got plenty to make it, that's for sure.
Right, and we got 3 laps until we get to the 20 to go mark. And position 5 battle.
There you go, Rich Jetty climbing up to the top 5 now as he gets around McQuestion in the 93, and the 93 is now under fire from Jake Wright. Here comes Carroll to pit road.
Oh boy, that's right on
That's
the
probably
borderline.
right about on the outer limit of the fuel window, I'll tell you that. McQuishan going to hit pit road as well.
I'll tell you what, according to the notes that I currently have right here, it's 19 to 21 laps on fuel.
And I think Carroll was kind of in a no-win situation there. I think he had to try to short pit to get the advantage over Stikes. Stikes is just putting on a clinic for us up here in Pocono.
And Stikes just bad fast. These guys, Drew Carroll, he's now starting to exit his pit stall here. And Craig Stikes is down turn number 3 already.
Fresh tires are going to be all of the difference, though. Stikes going to stay out another lap. Pilarski saying he's going to hit pit road. Anybody making the approach yet? I don't see anybody looking up turn 3.
No, nobody's pitting this time by. Maybe
Other
Brad
than Pilarski.
Collins.
Grahula on pit road.
Oh,
What happened to
Calvin
Pilarski?
Pilarski.
Into the inside wall. Just went to get down and apparently he got down a little too hard.
Oh, daggone.
Rich Jetty saying over the chat he's going to hit pit road this time. I mean, this is going to be the final stop if we don't get another caution. Here comes Wright as well, saying he's going to hit pit road for the final time. Barney's on pit road. Stikes is on pit road.
Yeah, Stikes is on pit road. It's about 2 lap gap between Carroll and Stikes.
Yeah, but I think Stikes is going to have the fresher tires, so it might not be a very long battle there between the two of them. Is Tommy Ryan going to stay out? There you see Eckrich on the pit road, sliding into spot. A couple style bonus points there for him.
Stikes off of pit road.
Good stop for that team.
He
Where's
gets
Carroll?
off the track.
Oh boy, he beat Carroll out. Carroll now in the middle of turn 1, and Stikes is on the exit.
Wow.
Now that was impressive.
That was something must have happened on pit road. Because usually if you pit early, you can gain the time on the guy ahead.
I see where part of it was. Stikes had a 13-second pit stop to Carroll's 14-second pit stop. So there's a second of it right there.
Yeah, and there was no mistake by the driver on pit road.
Here comes Collins, going to hit pit road. Final time, plenty of fuel to make it. The only way that they burn more fuel if it was overcast. If it's this hot, I think that they have to be able to make it, right? I'm not just trying to engineer a storyline. I'm seriously considering my notes.
In my opinion, Drew Carroll's borderline. Craig Stikes is pretty much good to go if he can save maybe 1 lap. Because Craig Stikes, he pitted 2 laps ago.
Ooh, Ryan.
Oh, no.
He got it wound down.
Yeah, I don't know. Drew Carroll, he pitted 4 laps ago, Brian. And we are 18 to go this time by.
Yeah, it'll be close.
That'll be close. I think Stikes can make it.
I think I can fairly safely say that Stikes can make it. Ryan, I know, anybody that pits from here on out, I know can make it. I think Carroll might be the wild card, depending on if people were honest with me about their fuel reading.
Well, I'm really no expert, but I mean, if you really sit down and take the time to do the math and all, you could probably figure it out. I mean, what do you viewers at home think? Do you think Drew Carroll could probably make it on fuel or not? 19 to 21 laps is the fuel load, so according to my notes that I have right here.
I think they'll be good. Dallin Eckhart's going to come from the lead, hit pit road for the final time.
And maybe I'm just getting a little too excited for this finish.
Well, in the ultimate variable, too, there could be a caution.
That could be too.
Caution comes out, that's going to change everything.
That would just mean everybody going down pit road for 4 tires.
Yeah, battle for the second position about to shake up here between Eckrich and Carroll.
2 drivers battle side by side before in past races, even for the win.
And,
oh no! Oh no!
Oh, there's Norbert into the wall!
Oh, that's right in front of him.
And he's blowing the motor. Boy. And here's...
Oh yeah, he just went straight into the outside wall on a straight.
Luckily that thing didn't spin out because that was right in front of Carroll and Eckrich. And Eckrich is going to draw a bead on Carroll. I don't believe there's any love lost between these two drivers.
And no, there isn't. Drafting down that long front straightaway. And looked like Cohen got in the way there. And
Eckrich has gotten by Carroll. They're working around the slower car of Cohen.
Oh, he touched him! He touched him!
Boy.
Oh no, they wrecked!
Eckrich got him! That's gonna bring out a caution!
There should be a caution.
Put it
now.
out!
There is. Oh. Dead, gone.
Oh boy. Oh boy. And there was the next step after just a little bit of back and forth on the in-race check. I didn't really get a clear visual of what happened. I just know.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, it's okay. So Carroll hit the back of the 70, causing the 70 to get loose, and then the 70 spins down the track and just gets him in the.
No, I'm not attempting to.
Ooh, right. Just threads the needle through that too. Stay on this replay, director, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh boy.
Watch Ryan coming in right here.
Yeah,
we gotta get it on board there. Oh boy. Here we go. On board with Tommy Ryan. What was Senna's quote? If you no longer go for a gap that doesn't exist, you're not a racing driver?
Hey, well, he went pretty far.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, that's a thing, folks.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
Oh boy. All right, well, everybody's going to probably hit pit road this time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody's going to come down pit road here and take 4 fresh tires, in my opinion. So.
And here we go. Leaders on to pit road. Tommy Ryan, the big benefactor on that. He's going to move up to second. He's going to draw a bead onto the rear bumper of Stykes. Now let's see how the pit road cycle goes. I think Filarski is going to be our lucky dog as well. We'll get to that here in a second. Or no, that's the lucky dog is going to be Westerfield. So we'll cycle there in a second. I want to see the battle for pit road here. Everybody hits their marks pretty nice. Two tires from Barney.
What a gamble that is. Oh,
that is. Stykes is going to lead the charge with 2 tires from that number 60 machine. As Chris Westerfield takes his battered and beaten car, last car loaded motorsports, going to get himself a Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick break here. hopefully let everybody settle out. And we're going to come back and bring you back to the last probably 11 laps or so here in the CJ Automotive 200. So stay tuned. We'll be back. Welcome back to the CJ Automotive 200, where the race is winding down to its final 11 laps. Robert Barney on 2 tires has the lead right now, with Craig Stykes, the fastest car in this race, as the second half has progressed. Going to restart to his outside. Tommy Ryan third, Jake Wright fourth. Getting back up into that one. The 70 of Eckrich is 15th, and Drew Carroll is somewhere else. 13th. So fireworks might not be done there, but here we go. Green flag back into the air. Barney trying to get away on those 2 tires. I'm not sure how good it's going to work, but he's going to be side by side with Stykes down in 1. Stykes is going to have the preferred line, I think, because he's going to be able to drive it in there. But Barney, we've seen him get aggressive, but Stykes is going to have the lead. Through turn 1, he's going to clear Barney, but now Barney is under fire. He's like a pinata full of bees now. Here comes Wright to the outside for second. Here comes Ryan for third. Barney now trying to keep in the way, trying to get out of the way, but here comes Jetty going to try to almost force a 3 wide through the middle. He thought better of that one. Here's McQuestion up to the outside.
Oh, Rich Jetty!
Contact between Jetty and Eckhart there. Krahula gets squirrely out of the corner, but holds it true.
That helped Krahula big time out of turn number 2.
That did. Back out front, though. We've got 3 cars under a blanket. Stykes, your leader, coming to the line with 10 laps to go. Wright finally getting back up front after drifting turn 2. And here's Tommy Ryan as well. So, resetting that one out for you. Stykes still going to hold it through 1 and 2, but let's see. Ooh, wow. Wright drove it in there just about until he found Elvis, or almost the rear bumper of the 57.
Eckhart got tight, entering that corner there, almost hit Will Worsler, had to slow down, and Drew Carroll had to go towards the inside to avoid Dylan Eckhart there.
There he is. They're side by side through turn 2. Who's that? Barney now under fire from Jetty again.
Man, Barney's doing all he can right now to try to stay up front, but problem is you got 10 laps to go, coming to 9 to go. Rich Jetty, what a run he's having today.
Powerful. Great run from the driver of that number 7 machine. I'm still poking my nose out front here. Battle back there might settle itself out, but Stykes, Wright, and Ryan are all over each other.
Oh, almost contact between Robert Barney. Robert Barney doing a little side draft to keep. Whoa, a little contact there.
Almost a little bit more out of 2. Or out of 1.
They're flirting. Will Worsler underneath James Krahula.
Worsler up to 7th right now. He's challenging for 6th.
Carroll 3 wide.
Oh boy. Well, someone lit a fuse under the driver of that number 87 machine.
Little Mission Impossible fuse right there.
Ooh, Ryan gets loose out of 3.
Krahula did too, I believe. Tell you what, another driver that's lit a fuse. Scott Eckrich. Up to 11th right now.
Eckrich up to 11th. A little bit of front end damage might be hurting that one a bit more. The field works their way out of turn 1. Everybody's single file up front. Nobody's been able to make any big inroads on each other.
Here goes James Krahula underneath Will Worsler down the long pond straightaway. It's by him down in turn number 2. We call that the tunnel corner.
What do we call that?
Tunnel. It's tunnel something. I'm all messed up right now.
The tunnel turn.
The tunnel turn. Thank you.
Because that's where the tunnel to get to the infield runs under.
Oh, bunch of cars in the wall off turn number 3.
Ooh, they're going to keep it together. Who's that spinning?
Runkle, Don Runkle.
Caution is out. Put it out for Runkle. He got on those brakes hard and locked it up. Oh, boy. Well, kids, now what do you do?
I don't care.
7 laps to go. Field's going to come back around here. Pace car is still sitting on pit road. So they're going to come back around with 6. Take the pits are going to be open with 5 to go. And we're either going to get a green-white-checkered here or a 1-lap shootout.
Tell you what, that is a nice save by Don Runkle Jr. off turn number 3.
Well, I'm more curious of what the leaders are going to do. Do you know how much tires matter? But is it worth the risk of track position?
Well, I'll tell you what, look at Robert Barney. He's up there in this 7th position. He fell back to 7th position after having the race lead on the last restart. That's how much 4 tires versus 2 tires are at this track. So, what do you want to do? I'd say 4 tires. I mean, if you're up front. Gotta remember, there's what?
Oh boy.
Caution came out at 7 to go mark, so we might be looking. And iRacing doesn't do a green-white checkers here. Gotta keep that in mind.
Well, now.
Well, at least we're catching our breath, and I believe that those drivers are too.
Here we go. I have a feeling most of the leaders are going to stay out. And we've got, let's see here, we've got 16 cars on the lead lap. So if you else does, you're back to 16. I'll bet you, well, they proved me wrong earlier, but Barney on back hits pit road.
Yeah, and I think Scott Eckrich might stay out just due to track position.
Let's see, though. Field working their way around turn 3.
All right. Who's going to pit? Who stays out? Who pits
Like I
with
said,
2
if the top
tires?
3 dive, I'll be shocked. Here we go. McQuestion looking. He's setting down the middle. No.
Nobody.
No, there's
Dylan
somebody back there.
Nope.
Eckhart.
Eckhart does not pit first car on
Nope.
pit road. It's 14th.
Westerfield.
14th.
All right, so they're just decided to go for it. So, oh boy.
Don Runkle, he's pitting.
Calvin Filarski getting our Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award. Coastal Safety Auditors, not Calvin Filarski. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. I mean, Calvin might sell fire and life safety equipment and services. I don't know what he does for a living. Well, 5 to go. Best case scenario, we're going to get 2 to go this time by, which would be a green-white-checkered. So 2 laps to go.
Yeah, we technically would have to get a 1 to go this time by to make it a green-white-checkered. But if we do not get a 1 to go, the green flag's going to come out on the white flag lap.
Oh, boy.
And you know what happens to these restarts that we've been experiencing all day long.
Might be. Is it a full moon out here tonight somewhere? Anybody can check that for me? My director says no.
I'm not near a window to find out on my end.
But Tanner was looking at the ceiling, but that didn't help him.
It did it.
All right. I mean, Stykes, regardless, Stykes has drove a fantastic race. He's led 26 laps, most laps of anybody out there. After, like I said, after missing the show at Indianapolis, I'm assuming because he caught the wall somewhere in his lap and it didn't register a time. I mean, seeing what he's got, there's no way that he would not have posted or not have qualified if that car was able to record a time.
Yeah, definitely. Another driver I want to bring up in discussion as well is Jake Wright. He had a spin with Scott Eckrich down there in turn number 2, and that made him fall back to like the 9th position, 10th position. He's
Pace
back
car
up there.
lights are still on.
Still on, so we will get a. If the caution lights do come out this time by, this next time around, then the green flag will come out on a white flag lap. And
no, you're back. You're off a lap.
Oh.
Because we're on 4 to go. If they come around and get 1 to go next time by.
Yep, you're right.
There we go.
Totally
All right, we're
my
here.
fault.
We're good.
We're here. My old brain is still kicking. Just messing up a little bit.
And McQuestion saying he's getting some raindrops on the windshield, but the virtual rain is 9 minutes and 40 seconds away, so I don't see that happening.
But still, what a comeback for Jake Wright after having some contact and a spin down in turn number 2, and he's already back up there into the 2nd position, in position to fight for the race win.
Trying to get confirmation here from the in-race admin of if they got the 2 to green this time. Carson Abe doing a good job. The long arm of the law of the AdvoCare Cup Series.
He's law and order, and maybe executioner.
Doom, 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 doom. Oh, Oh, yeah, copyright. Oh, boy. That was like 4 seconds. We're good.
Oh boy, having some good old fun
Don't want to
here.
get stricken down there. That'd have been terrible.
Oh, the drivers are already saying green, white,
boy.
checkered, huh? So it looks like right now they are at the 2 to go mark.
And last night in the Coastal Safety Auditors Grand National Series, we had a green-white checkered finish, 2-lap restart, and that worked out perfectly for Nick Cohen to steal the victory away. Who is going to benefit tonight?
Craig Stykes.
Pace lights are off. Oh boy.
I don't know. I think Jake Wright might have something for him. We'll see. I mean, I know Craig Stykes is fast, but I mean, Jake Wright, he's battled back to get to that second position. I don't think he's going to give up without a fight.
Stykes started outside front row, so he's had a great starting spot since the start of the race. Really kind of took care of that car early. Wright, we've well documented his drifting through turn 2. Ryan has just had a Tommy Ryan race. I mean, nothing flashy, nothing fancy, but here he is. When it's time to go, he is ready.
He is, and he's always in position to win a race. Now it's just a matter of, hey, when am I going to win a race? When am I going to get that monkey off my back to get another win?
Take a look at who's out there outside row 3. Just take a look.
Outside row number 3. Oh, yes. Mr. Excitement himself, Drew Carroll.
Oh, boy. So this one might not be over yet. If
It's
he gets
going to
a
get
good
exciting.
restart from the outside.
It's going to get exciting, that's for sure.
Well, here's the thing. If the field gets around to the white flag, that's going to be it. If the caution comes out, even leading up to the white flag, the caution will end it.
In other words, once the green flag waves, the next flag will pretty much end it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that summed up what I said a lot quicker. All right, come on, race, folks. Here we go. Final restart of the night for the 7th time, dropping the green flag onto the field. Stykes getting back a little bit, going to try to get a good run here on the restart. Green flag back into the air. 2 laps to go. Stykes get a fantastic restart. He's got Wright cleared down the front stretch. Right now, going to be under fire from Tommy Ryan. No, he falls back into line. There's McQueestion on the outside. There's Drew Carroll. Carroll's going to be battling up to the right, to the rear bumper there of Ryan. What's Carroll going to do out of turn 2?
And a lot of activity in this mid-pack as well. We just seen a 3 wide with Will Worsler back here, but Drew Carroll side by side with Travis McQueestion as these drivers head down into turn number 2.
He's there. That's going to be a gain the 4th position away from McQueestion. Carroll.
Oh, Barney!
Barney with a big wiggle. Everything is calm out front at the moment. Stykes is going to work his way off of turn 3. He's going to see the white flag. One more time around Pocono for Stykes. He's got Wright 0.4 of a second back off of him.
No more cautions right here, folks. This is it. We get to see a finish.
Off into turn 1, gap shrinking a little bit. Wright being very aggressive, diving it into the corner, but Stykes is going to be able to get a good run off.
Everybody not side by side. They're single file down that front stretch, trying to get every draft as possible. Probably the biggest battle that we could see. Rich Shetty and Travis McLeish, that would be for the 5th position. But
he's got through turn 2 clear. He's got one more corner to go. Craig Stykes, missing the race last week at Indianapolis. He's going to come back with a statement victory here at the Pocono Raceway. Craig Stykes off of turn 3. He's your winner of the CJ Automotive 200.
Good race by Craig Stykes to win this race, and pretty much a dominating performance by him today. Jake Wright, Tommy Ryan, Drew Carroll, and Travis McQueestion. And they reckon after the race, that's Don Runkle.
Oh boy. It all happened behind Craig Stykes, though, celebrating the victory. drifting it here a little bit through turn 2.
And he is saying there, folks, hashtag dirt confirmed. Do it again.
Give him, here he goes to 3. All right, he's going to try drifting behind him a little bit too.
The right side, I caught the grass.
Well, we're going to come back on the other side. Full race rundown, post-race interviews as Craig Stykes decides it's time to make the donuts. First-time winner in the Premier Racing League AdvoCare Cup Series. We'll be back on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Pocono Raceway and the CJ Automotive 200, where, you know what, it's the end of July, but the fireworks were out tonight here at the track. So, Craig Stykes, going to be your first-time winner in PRL. Jake Wright in second. Tommy Ryan third. We'll have all of those guys in the post-race interview booth here in a moment. Drew Carroll with a great charge back up to fourth. Travis McQuistion fifth. Rich Jetty, good run for him in seventh. The hard charger by far. James Krahula seventh. Dylan Eckhart ninth. Scott Eckrich gets back up to Dylan Eckhart eighth. Scott Eckrich up to ninth. And Robert Barney rounding out your top 10.
And outside the top 10, Will Worslow will finish 11th tonight. He was home for a top 10 finish. Brad Collins will finish 12th. Chris Westerfield will finish 13th. Troy Hayton 14th. Calvin Filarski finishes 15th tonight. Jason Swan started 30th. He finishes 16th. Don Runkle Jr. will finish 17th. The last car on the lead lap. Ricky Harden will finish in 18th, 2 laps down. And Randy Yoakum finishes 19th with 9 laps down. And Mark Norbert rounds out the top 20, 12 laps down.
21st goes to Jeff Ryan. 22nd to Nick Cohan. 23rd to Rick Thompson, the airman. Michigan's Matt Lacrosse in 24th. 25th to Jeff Ward. An unfortunate end for him earlier in the event. Bryce Whitson Jr. in 26th with Jeffrey Gilliam 27th and Michael Krobach 28th. Not the finish that any of those guys were looking for. Josh Parker 29th and 30th to Jesse Fowler.
Outside the top 30, you have Woodrow Mahan finishing 31st. Jonathan Cadell finishes 32nd. Chad Coleman in 33rd. Gerald Livingston in 34th. Norm Pelletier in 35th. Joe Hazard did not take a lap tonight, finishes 36th. Mark Allen 37th, and Benny Ellison rounding out the top 38 field.
So as we talked about, we're going to talk to the drivers that finished in the top 3. I've caught up with Tommy Ryan. Tommy, just a pretty boring, simple race, right, for you?
Man, it was so hostile in there at times, man.
I think everybody just needed a hug.
They needed something. I don't know, man. You get to racing hard and things happen and you feel like somebody tried to do you dirty and things come out. And, James has got a job ahead of him. It's hard to manage a bunch of these, a bunch of people like this, but it's all in good fun, man. Everybody will be back next week.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back, and then everybody will be hitting each other because we're going to Watkins Glen, too, so that'll be exciting. But tell us about your race. You had the early pit road trouble, getting wound down to pit road or getting wound down to your stall, and then having to restart back in the, I think it was like 27th, 28th?
Yeah, man, I made a mistake. I got into the back of the 31. I thought he was pitting in front of me, and he was behind me, and I was like, oh, man, I just tore the rear of his car up. I had no idea what the front bumper looked like on mine. So I know that Chris wasn't very happy with me, but I tried to talk to the guy, but he wasn't having it, I guess. But I would have been the same, I guess. But, yeah, at that point I was like, man, I just got to ride this thing out and let things happen and just not get in a big hurry. And you guys saw the mayhem in front of us, and next thing you knew, half the field was out. And then I started working my way up through there. And, it was really slick out of 3. I tried everything I could, man, to get to the throttle as good as Nick, or not Nick, but Jake Wright and our winner there. I just drew a blank, man. So,
Stykes.
Yeah, and I could get back to them by 3, but man, they were just so good out of turn 3, man. I just couldn't do anything with them.
Seems so. I mean, I made the comment over the race or over the broadcast that it was just a Tommy Ryan sort of event. Nothing exciting, nothing thrilling. I mean, all of a sudden we looked up with 20 to go, and there you were fighting for the top 3. So good run for you. And we're going to head to the final, as I mentioned to you earlier. We're making the final road course stop on the year, heading off to Watkins Glen. Tell me, are you excited to get that last road course done and out of the way?
Yeah, I like the road stuff. A lot of guys in here don't care too much for it, but I dig them, man. It's pretty fun. It's a challenge, especially in these cup cars, man. These things feel so heavy, and you got to be really, really finesse with the throttle. And it's fun sliding it around, but it'll probably, I don't know, it could be a fuel mileage thing again. I don't know. I'll tell you this: if this thing would have went green tonight, I think I would have got this one with a little bit of gas in the tank better than anybody else. So I'll take third, though, man. It was a good night for me.
Well, there you go, Tommy. We'll let you go. Catch up with you next week at Watkins Glen, and until then, have yourself a good one, bud.
Appreciate it, man. You guys check out the Unacceptable Facebook page and visit northerntool.com and go buy something. See ya.
I got some stuff around the house I might need to buy. I might be visiting your site there.
Right on.
That was Tommy Ryan. We caught up with him, and Tanner, you've caught up with Jake Wright, who had a pretty exciting night tonight.
Yeah, Jake Wright had a pretty exciting night, I shall say. He was in the top 3 throughout the night, most of the night, and Jake, you fell back all the way down to the lower part of the top 10 from 8th to 10th place after contact with Scott Eckrich down turn number 2. Tell us about your race, and how did you battle back to get a second place finish tonight?
I thought tonight was a very interesting race. Prior to Monday and Sunday's other PRL leagues, I've had no experience here in the stock car, so this was a whole new experience for me. As for the race, we started well, and then we had the incident with Eckrich, which we kept it off the wall and gained the spots back up, so there were no hard feelings there. But overall, it was a very exciting race in my opinion, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of exciting action-packed race up here in the booth as we were watching. Speaking of Pocono here, with 116 track temperature, how bad was the looseness of the cars on the exit? Because we were talking with Nick Cohan earlier, and he says the cars were tight entering the turns, but really loose off. What were you feeling today since you were one of the top cars?
He described it very well. Early on, he's right. The thing was tight on entry and loose on exit. But early on, I found out the trick was just backing up the corners a bit and trying to be as smooth as I could on the pedal. But I'll admit, I think I used the outside wall to keep the thing from spinning a few times tonight. It made the race very challenging, which I'm always a fan of. So I enjoyed the hot temperature, definitely.
I'll tell you what, with this second place, it has to give you a lot of confidence booster up, because our next race is at Watkins Glen, the Savage Spinners at the Glen on August 7th, and you've won every road course race in this series, the Cup Series. How do you feel about Watkins Glen on August 2nd?
Of course, I'm feeling pretty good about it, but Watkins Glen, in my opinion, is one of the easier road courses. I think it's going to be a much closer race, like kind of what we saw at Road America. There's going to be packs around the track, so I'm looking forward to it. I always enjoy the road races, and I think we'll put on a pretty good show for you guys.
Yeah, definitely, and you won every road course this season, so hopefully you can sweep the road courses on the Cup Series schedule. We thank you, Jake, for coming to talk to us tonight. Congratulations on your second place finish, and we will see you at Watkins Glen.
Thanks. See you there.
Well, Brian, I believe you've caught up in victory lane with our first-time winner this season, Craig Stykes.
Craig Stykes, what better way to make your debut in the first official race that you've run and put her in victory lane? Tell us about your night.
Well, it was a lot better than last week. Went from worst to first. Qualified 41st out of 40 cars that started the field, so pretty much last car loaded motorsports was first car loaded. So got set up in the stands and watched that one, but tonight went a lot better. I don't necessarily like this track, but it worked out with the long run. That really helps me. I'm not much of a short run driver, so whenever we had the long run, I was able to get a little distance, and that was making me a lot more comfortable. And then as soon as the caution came out there towards the end, I was a little worried, because there's a lot of fast guys in this series.
That there is, but it didn't seem to stop you at all. Yeah, I was talking about it in the race. I wasn't seeing you anywhere in the points, and I remember that you were the only car to go home last week in Indianapolis, so that's got to be a bit of a, they're a bit of a revenge story for you.
Well, it was. I just tried to get too much out of the car pretty much in qualifying and tag the wall, and as soon as you do that, they won't count your lap. So it was my fault. I should have just calmed down on the second lap and just try to log a lap, but it's hard to do. You just want to go fast, and when you go fast, sometimes you make mistakes, and I made a big one.
That's all right, but you've definitely rebounded now, got yourself up to the top step of the podium. Still not a bad way to go about it. So, I mean, with the hot track temp, it seemed like long run pace was the key, and you said that's where you really kind of fell into your own. But tell me, how was it wheeling these big old heavy stock cars on a hot and slick track?
They were definitely sliding around quite a bit. That's kind of what I enjoy. I always raced dirt sims and stuff before I come to the asphalt, so sliding around is always fun. And I don't know if I was doing something wrong or if it was helping me in the long run or not, but in turn 3 I was running the high line, and I noticed that there was a lot of guys running the low line, and it looked like they were making up time on me when they would do that. But I had never tried the low line really, and I just figured I'd stick to the high side. Hopefully it would save tires a little better and make up for it in the long run, which it did. I'm not sure that's what it was, but it helped. So.
Sounds good. Anybody that, before we let you go on and celebrate and really kind of spray some champagne around, anybody you want to thank for for your victory tonight?
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to thank you guys, the Global Sim Racing, for broadcasting it. Obviously, it's a hobby that we all enjoy. So when you have people like you guys that are willing to put in work to, for people to recognize it and, maybe get into it, that's always good. Thanks to James Krahula and everybody at Premier Racing League for putting the series on. Wits and Motorsports, they helped us get into the series, so I appreciate those guys. And everybody at Last Car Loaded, everybody works together good, and at the end of the day, it's just a hobby. So when you have people you enjoy doing the hobby with, I guess that's all that matters.
That's absolutely it. So we'll let you go on down the road, catch you up with you next week at Watkins Glen. Think you can go 2 for 2 back to back?
I don't know. Like I said earlier, these guys are really fast, and road course. I've run some road courses, not a whole lot. So I guess we'll just give it our best shot, see what happens.
Well, there you go. So that's all you can ask for, really. So we'll let you go on, catch up with you next week there, Craig.
I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. So, yeah, that was the voice of Craig Stykes, our winner. It's kind of a surprise winner, really. So now, Tanner, now we move on to the final road course race on the season. I mean, what could we expect?
Well, Watkins Glen is one of my favorites when it comes to road racing, and that's probably practically because it's one of the easiest on probably the Cup schedule here. But besides all that, I mean, Watkins Glen has produced some great road racing throughout the years, especially in NASCAR itself. I mean, we've seen Marco Sambros, Brad Keselowski go at it there. I'm sure you remember that, Brian, but it's another road course race. Some drivers aren't too happy that it's a road race, and some are. As we always say, road racing is becoming the new short track.
That it has been. So, with that being said, I think it's time to shut it down and head on down the road to the next race. So, we'd like to thank, as we talked about, James Krahula, our presenting series organizer, AdvoCare as a sponsor, and CJ Automotive for picking up the tab for the race. We would also like to give thanks to the software and the hardware that we use for our broadcast that you can see listed on your screen. Thank you to the team today, Tanner, Amjad, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, or if you want to have Amjad teach you how to Dougie, you can find it at theglobalsimracingchannel.com or www.globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. Special thank you to Eric Ekholm, Casey Lalonde, who both provide music for our broadcasts, and links to their music can be found listed on the screen as well. As we talked about, next race, the final road course race on the year, August 2nd, the 7 spinners at the Glen, at the Watkins Glen Raceway. So that's going to be really exciting. We also have other upcoming races for other series on screen, so mark them down, check them out, and until next time, kids, race clean, race hard, and I'll catch you on the track.